Joining us now to talk a little bit more about what's going on with the pandemic and the variants out there, Dr. Mark Sherwood joins us, who has treated countless COVID patients, and the direction we are headed now. Doctor, welcome in. Thanks for being with me.
Hey, JT, good morning. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you. And, we heard originally when this Omicron reared its ugly head out of Africa that the health officials there said, all right, be concerned, but let's not panic here. This is not as strong of a variant as the other Delta variant and coronavirus in the initial stages at the beginning of all this crazy pandemic madness. So your thoughts on the Omicron and the reaction that we're seeing now with schools going backwards and businesses starting to demand more on safety and the spread and how bad it really can be?
Well, JT, I'm very concerned about the response in the sense that we were originally talking about, when this began, the idea of deaths. And now we're talking about people just getting sick. Well, let's understand that viruses are going to variate, of course. And that means as they variate, they tend to, as the experts have said, get weaker in their ability to kill somebody, but get stronger in their ability to infect somebody. So it's almost like the quicker we get through this, the quicker we're going to get through this, if you get my drift. And so
right.
I'm concerned about the overreaction that is called fear, and that fear itself, people need to understand from a physiological standpoint, is going to weaken any immune response, whether it's a virus or bacteria or anything else. And so we really need to temper it back and understand that to live with viruses is going to be more the norm instead of thinking that we're just going to eradicate them all.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And you keep hearing, too, that coronavirus is going nowhere. It's going to be around for decades. And, it seems to me all of a sudden now the headlines, if you could imagine, oh, my gosh, 20 more people have come down with the flu. The impact that this Omicron is getting when the flu can be just as bad and sometimes worse for people. And I know it's coronavirus and it's all part of the pandemic situation. And here we go with another variant. But, yeah, every doctor I seem to talk to says the same thing. Look, common sense here. Wash your hands. If you're going to be around folks, put a mask on for now. We don't want to spread it. But I have also heard from Pennsylvania's state health director, our health director here said it's not a question of if you're going to be exposed to Omicron variant, but when. So could we, at that point, when everybody is exposed to it, does this take us into a closer herd immunity situation by summer maybe?
Well, I certainly think the answer to that question is yes, it does. The when is really determined by a lot of the media, unfortunately, because they keep driving this thing called, fear and pandemic, and it's like we won't let it go. And what we have seen, JT, is that people stay calm. They maintain very, very good lifestyles. Eat well, get sleep, get some movement, stay off of negative media, hang out with positive people as opposed to negative people. And when they do, you're right. It's not an if, it's when. And we've had countless people go through this already. And to every person, JT, and again, I'm not speaking for the world, but to every person that we've dealt with, they have responded with, paraphrasing heavily, something like this. Is that all that was? Just 2 or 3 days of discomfort? And they're like shocked because it's been painted as some, cataclysmic picture. Right. And it's like, it's not that bad. We'll get through it. And my goodness, the flu per capita kills more people every year, and we've forgotten that. So I'm just extremely concerned about what I would characterize as a major over-response and overreaction.
Amen, brother. Amen. Well, Doctor, I appreciate you, and we will have you back as a new variant has now reared its head, the IHU variant. What are you hearing about this quickly?
I heard about that actually last night and this morning, kind of with you, and I wasn't surprised. I mean, I think we're going to have to, get a brand new Greek alphabet at some point, and go through this and just make up our own, because it's not going to end, because it's like there's no end in sight to it. And I'm not, motivation of people is between them and God, of course, but, it's like, when is this going to end, and when are we going to stop forcing the will of the people, right?
Yeah,
so yes, I want people to live healthy, hopeful, and faithful.
And joyful, right. I'm with you.
All right, man,
let's get the fear mongering over. But for some reason, there's some political advantage for certain groups of people to keep the fear going. All right, you know what I'm talking about. Dr. Mark Sherwood, we will have you back.